Greetings today. We're continuing Daniel's Prophecy of End Times, Part 3. This would be Section 2. Many of the things which Daniel was commanded to seal up or to keep secreted were revealed through John in the book of Revelation. However, there were things John still was supposed to seal up also. We find in Revelation 10:4, and when the seven thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered, and write them not. Again, in chapter 22 and verse 10 of Revelation, he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. And I believe if we keep Daniel 12:4 in strict context pertaining to Daniel's people and land, then we would conclude that the latter part of this verse has to do with the Jewish evangelist who will be laboring for the gospel during this 70th week which the Jews owe God. Granted, various interpretations have been given as to the meaning of until the time or the season of culmination, until many they should be teaching and they should be increasing the knowledge. I believe its proper interpretation and the correct interpretation to state is a reference to the prophesied time of which Paul spoke of in Romans 11:25, when he said, for I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 10. And I will pour out upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in the bitterness for his firstborn. So we look at Daniel 12:5 literally, and I, Daniel, saw myself with perception, and behold, two others of a different kind. They had stood, the one on this particular bank of the river, and the other on the other side particular bank of the river. This is a scene similar to the one which we have seen before in Daniel 10. Daniel 10:4 and 5, and in the 4th and 20th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins was girded with fine gold of Uphaz. Daniel 12:6 literally says, and he said to the man, the one having been clothed and remaining so himself by means of linen, who was being above the water of the river, until how long, the limit, the boundary, is it being of the astonishing things you have said? Now this word linen is a transliteration from the Hebrew with the Greek ending attached. There are 19 verses in which the Hebrew word Strong's 0906 bod, B-A-D, in our spelling, appears in the Old Testament. They would be Exodus 28:42 and 39:28, Leviticus 6:10, 16:14, 16:23, 16:32, 1 Samuel 2:18 and 22:18, 2 Samuel 6:14, 1 Chronicles 15:27, Ezekiel 9:2, 9:3, 9:11, 10:2, 10:6, 10:7, and here in Daniel 10:5, 12:6, and 12:7. The word is used distinctly and strictly to describe the special linen worn by those anointed by God for special service. Example given, priest, including the child Samuel, while working in the temple, King David, and this apparent Christophany or theophany described by both Daniel and Ezekiel. No such distinction is held in the New Testament uses of the word linen, which may explain the reason why Daniel was inspired to prefer the Hebrew transliteration to communicate this idea. Daniel 8:13, Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? Now some insist that this is one Old Testament appearance of Christ before his incarnation in Bethlehem, while others say that it is once again Gabriel. Again, I will simply say to you, the emphasis is on the message and not on the messenger, and I would leave you to sort that out for yourself as to whether it's Christ or the Archangel Gabriel.